This video is brought to you by Comstar, your friendly communications network for all in your sphere.
Hey, it's Shiru, back with another one of my mech ranking videos. These are just like simple little videos I have been making. Today I will be discussing and ranking the Shadowcat in MechWarrior 5. The reason I picked the Shadowcat is I've done every single weight class except for medium, so I figured I'll go ahead and do medium. And I picked one of, if not a very interesting medium mech from Clan Novacat. Clan Novacat, this is one of their pride and joys in the Battletech series. The Shadowcat is a 45-ton battle mech, and it is manufactured by Barcella. So meaning that this mech is an interesting mech because of how it's designed and what it seems it's designed for recon. But the thing is, it has a very interesting weapon that I will be going into. And it's the reason I'm giving the title of this video, The Kitty That Kills With Kindness. Because the weapon system this thing has on it can kill in basically one hit. Now, this is a Clan Novacat creation. It was created in 3003. It is basically an interesting battle mech because of the idea that they had around it. But it being a recon mech, but with a very powerful weapon system, this is on its prime. So this mech is going to be, I'm going to say, very highly ranked in my system of ranking it. So let's get started with the offensive capabilities of this battle mech and what it's capable of offensively. Now I will go into its other forms just because the Shadowcat is an interesting one. For starters, its prime configuration has 1 Clan Gauss rifle and 2 Clan ER medium lasers. ER medium lasers are mostly just its backup weapons. The Gauss rifle now. The Gauss rifle is a very, very unique weapon for a recon mech to have, which that's what this mech, it looks like it was designed for. It was designed for recon, but at the same time, it doesn't seem like it should be. Because of its offensive capabilities, because of the Gauss rifle, this thing is also capable of handling an AC-20, an Ultra AC-20. So it can be even up close and personal. I have switched it to be an AC-20 sometimes, but overall, its primary configuration is probably its most devastating if it gets a one hit. Now, this mech in universe does not have an inner sphere name due to it. If you spot it, you're already dead. It basically, to me, it's a better Hollander. The Hollander is a 35-ton battle mech that uses just a Gauss rifle as its primary configuration, and it's an inner sphere weapon system mech that was designed for that platform. The reason I'm bringing that mech up is that's what the Shadowcat basically is. It's a better version of the Hollander. So this thing could reach out and touch you, and you not even know it's even there. Now, its other primary configurations are the Alpha, and the Alpha takes away that firepower of the Gauss rifle, but has 2 ER large lasers and an SRM6. So a Shrieker system SRM6, which is a targeting system for locking on. Now, this form of it is not as good as the primary configuration because it can't hit at very long ranges, but it does still pack a wallop for what it is. Now, I'm only going to do 3. Its B configuration is also pretty decent. It has 2 ER medium lasers and 2 LRM-15 with Artemis control. So these mechs are typically recon mechs. It's what it seems to be. These mechs are very versatile in their weapon systems, but its primary configuration is probably overall its best form. Now, Clan Novacat did do an awesome thing with this mech because carrying a Gauss rifle is, for a 45-ton mech, that's kind of hard to get on any type of 45-ton battle mech. But we have seen it over the years that in the BattleTech universe, things have worked out to where light mechs have been shown to actually have Gauss rifles and bigger weapon systems. Now, with the Clan Gauss rifle, it is a little bit further in distance, and it also weighs lighter, so the Shadowcat does carry extra ammunition for it. In this game, I believe it carries 2 tons of ammunition for its Gauss rifle. I'm just double checking. Yes, it is 2 tons of ammunition, which in MechWarrior 5 we're looking at 26 rounds of ammunition, and so it carries plenty of ammunition within this game for its design. So it's an offensive little monster, the Shadowcat. Even in its other configurations, it can be considered a bit of a monster, but not as much as its primary configuration. Which means it's a fucking badass little mech, and it will devastate the enemy. Now, it's time to go into defensive capabilities of the Shadowcat. The Shadowcat has armor at 268 in this game, and a structure of 159, which isn't bad for a medium-sized battle mech. What makes that even better is it has ferrofibrous armor, Clan, and an Endo Steel. Cannot be taken off this mech. This thing has also double heat sinks. Standard is we got standard of, it does not fucking say, now does it? Oh no, I'm looking at the XL engine. Oh shit, I'm stupid. It has internal heat sinks of 10, so that's 10 double heat sinks. Typically, this mech does not need extra heat sinks because of those 10 double heat sinks. Sorry, I'm just trying to make sure I get everything correctly. So it does maintain a cool, so that works into its defensive capabilities as well because it keeps it cool, keeps it on the move. This mech also is equipped with an ECM. Well, in this case, it's got just a Beagle Active probe, so It can spot enemies. And it has equipped with a mass system, which makes it run faster. I'll go into more details but I've noticed a lot of Shadowcats actually having ECMs built in as well. This version doesn't seem to have one, but I think the other versions do. I have seen a lot of them have. Yes. The B configuration does have the ECM on board. I thought the A and the primary did, but it's not showing up in this game. That may be but I was wrong about that. For some reason, I was thinking this thing was built with the ECM in mind, but not really. So that goes to show you, my research sometimes sucks when I do these, and I try to make sure I grab everything. And for some reason, the app I use, Mech Factory, didn't have. For some reason, I thought it did have on the primary configuration, but no, it was just a Bravo configuration that has the ECM. But it can, in most cases, because it's an Omni Mech, can have an ECM built into any of its configurations, as long as it has the right parts, which means it's going to have the Omni slot. Other than that, its defense is, because it can hit from so far away, that is really what keeps this thing defensively capable. And with offensive capabilities, its defense, because of the Gauss rifle on board, keeps you at a good distance away, doesn't allow you to get shot up as much, and you can take out enemies at distance instead of being up close and personal. So it is a really good choice. Other than that, for its defensive capabilities, like I said, it can carry the ECM, it can carry AMS, it can carry anything that you can put on it to be defensive, and this mech will achieve a defensive tactics. Typically, defense, I really have not much to say on with this one, because it's got good armor, it's got good interior, it's got ferrofibers, it's got structure, and it maintains good heat, so it doesn't overheat itself, and you don't want that in battle. So it's really capable, and it's now in further versions of it, it has better equipment for defensive capabilities, but I'm not going to go so far into the future. I'm working around 3058 or 3050 to 3058 with most of these mechs. So with the Shadowcat being in this time period, it's still very good in defensive. It can carry ECM, can carry AMS, and it is capable of just overwhelming firepower due to that Gauss rifle. That Gauss rifle is also its biggest defensive capability as well. Keeping your enemy at bay where they cannot fire and get to you is defensive capability, and some people may argue with that. Now we're going to switch over to mobility, and this is where the Shadowcats. Oh, one other thing, with defensive capabilities, before I go into it, it does have the narrow profile, which also helps it. So now let's go back into mobility. Alright, mobility. The Shadowcat is a wonderful machine. The Shadowcat is a wonderful machine. It is built, and again, I do have conflicting information about running speed. But that being said, I will say this thing is fucking maneuverable, and the reason I said that word right now is because this mech is fast, and it can move around the battlefield. It's nimble. It's got a ton of jump jets on board. It's got a mask system on board. This mech is an amazing machine, speed-wise. Now, in this game, this mech can run up to 103 kilometers an hour, which is fast. It also can move up to from what I gathered, it does about 159 kilometers an hour when mask is put into effect. So, extremely fast mech for its size. The conflicting information I have, because of Mech Factory, and I believe Sarna also says this, is it has a 97.2 kilometers an hour on normal speed, and it can run up to 129 on mask. So there is some conflicting, but I'm going from MechWarrior 5, so I'm going to deal with that. So, a lot of information I get for like production and all that, I get from the Mech Factory or Sarna. So Sarna is the best thing to go look at if you want good information on mechs in general. Now, because this thing and the ability of this thing to have jump jets makes this thing be able to get to high places, attack the enemy from atop ridge lines, things like that. This mech is just, and in most of its forms, actually I think all of its forms actually has jump jets. So the alpha that I have sitting here is got jump capabilities. It's also got a mask, and so does the Bravo. Again, this mech is built for that speed. Most of its forms have mask as well. This mech is just a fast running battle mech. Because it's just a fast running battle mech, this thing is just, it runs around the battlefield. It has a Gauss rifle. Everything just, this mech just goes into being near perfect. The only thing bad about something that can run that fast is if you don't have a pilot that's skilled enough to utilize this machine, it will falter. And it can falter pretty badly. But you're not going to put an inexperienced pilot in this thing. At least I hope not, but the clans, we never know. So, here comes the ranking part of this video. So, for me, the Shadowcat actually, in clan terms, gets a 9 for what it is. This thing is amazingly fast, has awesome firepower, can hit you from long distances and make you wish for death, or it could be nice and kill you with kindness and give you a Gauss rifle to the head. The reason I say that's killing you with kindness is, well, it'll put you out of your misery in a flat second. So, with it being a clan mech, it deserves that 9 because of what it is. This mech is built by the Nova Cats to actually do a job that is phenomenal. It's a recon asset, but it can be a assault mech in a sense. So it's this, it's both wrapped up in a good little package. As its Inner Sphere ranking, people are probably going to be mad at me for this. I'm also giving this mech a 9. And it is due to the fact that its speed, its firepower, again, excellent. It can fight. It can survive. It can thrive on the battlefield. Why does this mech return after Clan Nova Cat disappears? Because this mech is just that good. This mech comes back. Why does the Inner Sphere want it? Why do the clans want it? Because this mech is just one of those mechs that will not die. It is an awesome machine. The only downside for Inner Sphere forces is the fact it costs so much to buy. But in the end, this mech right here is probably one of the best that I can see in the setting for its weight class. It is mean, it is scary, it's intimidating, and pray you don't see it on the battlefield because it's going to hurt you. Now, as game mechanics go, it's not as threatening, but I would not want to see this type of mech in real life. So, this mech is just... I'm happy to be doing this mech because I didn't know what I was going to do, and this mech just popped. So this mech is one of those that will kill you with kindness, and its nickname, the Gauze Kitty, makes it just a perfect nickname for it, because this mech is basically that terrifying. It's got one of the most powerful weapons in the setting, and it's just a phenomenal little beast. It knows what it's doing. That's why it got the same ranking in both, because both forces want this mech. I mean, the Inner Sphere wants most clan mechs, but most Inner Sphere can actually build things that can rival. The Shadowcat, to me, has no rivals in its weight class that make it scary. That's what makes this mech scary. To me, it shows no rivals in its weight class. It's fast, got the ability to jump, got a powerful cannon, and overall is just a phenomenal machine on the battlefield, and it will scare the living shit out of you. Its other forms, this is why I can never say it will never make a 10, any mech I do, is for the fact that the other Alpha, Bravo, and all of them do kind of bring it down a little bit, because it does trade out one of the most terrifying weapon systems in BattleTech as a setting. So I'm so happy to do the Shadowcat, because Shadowcat is one of those mechs, to me, is just an awesome little machine, and it is scary. So for next week, I don't know if I'm gonna do a heavy again, go down the list and say go another heavy, assault, a light, or heavy, light, assault, medium. I don't know if I want to do it that way. I think the next mech will just be something I will prop up. Actually, I think I do have an idea for next week, and it's going to be a little bit different. because I'm staring at a mech that I'm looking at that I may want to. I don't think it's going to be a ranking next week. What I might do is something a little different, but it'll still be a part of this series. I may be looking at 2 battle mechs next week. Not going to really rank them yet. I will rank them later, but I want to look at them and see how they're similar but different. Because there's 2 mechs that, to me, remind me of each other. One is from the Star League era to the Clan era, and the other is from the Clan era. And these 2 remind me so much of each other that I think I'm going to do a video about that for next week instead. And just not really go into their background or anything, but kind of look at it as, why do they remind me of each other? Why do they remind me that you're coming from a time period that was way before the clans were ever there, but why are these 2 mechs so similar but so different at the same time? So that is next week's idea. I'm hoping that will actually be an interesting little perspective, because I could actually start doing that as well and make that into a different little series as well, if that works out. Because there are a few mechs that kind of remind me of each other. I could think of another big group too. I'm not going to use the 2 that I'm using right now, but the Mad Dog and the Archer, I see those 2 being very similar to each other. So I may do a video about how they remind me of each other and how they work, and find out, hey, why do these mechs seem so familiar but so different at the same time? So next week, that will probably be up for that. But other than that, this was fun to do. The Shadowcat, the kitty that kills with kindness, aka the Gauze Kitty. So thank you for just listening. These are just mostly for listening. These aren't going to be videos for viewing. So thanks again for being here with me, and catch you next week.
This video was produced by Comstar.